Well, the final score was AFC Bournemouth nil, Arsenal 3, of course, at the Emirates. And I just wanted to give my verdict because, to be honest, it's probably a lot different from what a lot of people have heard so far. So, um, let's touch on the penalty to start off with, that Kai Havertz won, and Saka, of course, disposed against ourselves. We were not lackluster, but I think Arsenal were very, very dominant in the first half. They were in control of the game. They controlled the game well. They managed it well. Um, you know, did we get out of second gear? I have heard, Talksport mentioning that as well. And to be honest, I don't think it was a case that we didn't, get out of second gear. I think it was that Arsenal were very, very good in that first half. Now, I think you've got to look at Declan Rice, who's fantastic. Kai Havertz was fantastic. You can now see why Arsenal probably signed him. I thought Saka was good. I know that some people have said that he wasn't particularly that great. Odegaard, again, was very, very good as well. So there was a lot of talent, to be honest, that performed for Arsenal. But what I am going to say is the Kai Havertz penalty. Now, when I initially saw it, I thought, well, I don't think so. Travers doesn't really bring him down. However, what he does, Kai Havertz, is something quite good. And something that is quite, I don't blame him for doing. It's good from an Arsenal perspective, I guess, but not from our perspective. So what he's done is he's taken control of the ball, and I think he's overrun it a little bit. So the ball's knocked up a little bit further. He's trying to get around the goalkeeper. Fair enough. The goalkeeper's come out, and because he knows that he's not going to get to it, he's left out a trailing leg. That makes contact with Travers. Of course, he goes down and it wins the penalty. Now, do I think that that's a penalty? Personally, I didn't. I think it was quite harsh. Has to be some consistency. This is the biggest problem with VAR and PGMOL, because there's no real consistency in the decision making. There's decisions being made, which are very, very poor. Some decisions that will be given for that scenario, and some that won't be given. So that is the main concern from my perspective, is that, if you are going to give one penalty, you've got to give them all, but there's no consistency. And I prefer it when back in the day we had referees in the top flight making decisions on their own, the likes of Mark Housey. I'm not saying that because he's been on the show before and I get on very, very well with him, but I've got to be honest, he is top level referee. He got 99% of things right. No referee is going to get 100% things right. However, they were experts at their game. And I don't feel that this current crop are experts at their game. Um, there's no blame on Havertz. I think any striker, if Dominic Solanke had done that and won the penalty, we would send fair play. Well done, Dominic. Um, you know, I have got no criticism against that. Penalty very, very well dispatched by Saka. Wait for Travers to move. I thought we come into the game towards the end of the first half, I should say, and it was a bit of a hammer blow. Of course, coming into the second half, we were a lot better. Very much, in spells, the better side, which is a good compliment considering we're coming up against the team on top of the table. And I think, really, I want to touch on one thing as well. The Ryan Christie, was the boot high? I think could have been lucky, could well have been lucky to have got away with that. The boot was a little bit high. I don't want to go into too much of that because he's been outstanding, but it was a little bit high. And for the criticism we've got about these decisions, You know, I think, we've got to be thankful that didn't really count against us, because we could have lost him for the remaining two games of the season, which would be a real shame for him. Um, but secondly, I don't think Travers could really done anything with any of the goals. I think that the defense was solid. Especially in that first half, very very solid. We're getting a little bit caught at the end of the second half. Of course, that's where the third goal come from. We was pressing high. We was trying to get something. We was trying to get ourselves back in the game. I will comment on our goal, and I do call it a goal because I think that the touch with Billing was very, very minimal, very, very minimal, and yeah, I think it really, no way, no way should that have been chalked off. No way should it have been chalked off. Solanke, he wasn't impeding anybody. I don't, still to this point, I'm not really sure why it was chalked off. Um, like Talksport said, they said, we weren't at the races. I think we were. I think we were. Arsenal are a very, very good side, and I am going to say it now. I still think that Man City have got a slip up in them, and I don't think Arsenal do. I think they'll go to Manchester United. I think they'll win there, and Everton have got really nothing to play for. I did see a little bit of their game against Luton Town yesterday, and I don't particularly think that they were that great. So going to the Emirates with that much at stake by that point, I think, you know, Arsenal will easily beat Everton. And I think they will win the league. So um, that's really what I wanted to say. I think, you know, there's no point in being too disappointed or despondent about this result. There's no point in being angry about it. Yes, we did have decisions against us, and we all know. I've bleated on before about it, and I could have come straight on, done a little video, got my camera out, done a little video straight after the game. But I thought, no, what I want to do is I want to get home, assess everything, think about it. And this is where, I got to. I also watched, and massive thanks again to the guys at Arsenal Fan TV. And I was listening to James and Turkish, and they did bring up a you know, a piece actually. Laurie was on there as well, with Turkish, and they did bring up a piece that I did mention, and they were very, very fair on their assessment of the decisions. They were very, very fair on that, and I really do hope that Arsenal do it. I really do. I think they're a good club, and very hospitable club. I've got to be honest. Went up there as well, did the tour. It's an amazing football club. I really do hope they do it. And that's not because Man City have got the 115 charges, but I think that Arsenal are the better side. You know, Let me know what you think. You know, I think that our players were outstanding. I think Kluivert was particularly good. Semenyo, didn't expect him to play actually. I thought he was out. I thought he was out, but he come in and played very, very well. The defense was good. Travers did what he needed to do. Didn't have much opportunity with the goals. Solanke, I think he's struggling a little bit towards the end of the season. I think there's a little bit of a knock. However, again, he was getting other players involved and very, very good. So yeah, let me know what you think, but that is a relaxed, understanding view. And I think Mikel Arteta has got it spot on. This is why Arsenal will win the league, is because they're very grounded. They did what they had to do. We didn't go there and roll over like some pundits saying. We went there, we gave it our all, and we didn't come up, we didn't come up trumps. It didn't come up trumps. I think Alex Scott, again, I've said it before, very highly rated. He will get there in the end, but I don't think he's the finished article right now. So he's got a long way to go. Again, you know, feel free to let me know if you agree, disagree with that. But it's not going to be a case of what some people said is that he comes into our squad, performs really, really well, and goes to Man City. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen like that. The player that we've got to be concerned about losing, other than Solanke, is Barney at this point. I think Cliver will probably stay a little bit longer. Still think he'll have suitors, but I think Zabanier is so highly rated. Like I said, there's a lot of paper talk. There's a lot of, I read a little while back, that about Man City, and there was the other day I saw this tweet going on about Real Madrid, and that might sound crazy. It was a Spanish article as well. Um, that might sound crazy, initially, but I think he is that good. He's that good a defender. And all I have to do is hark back to that moment against Crystal Palace where he tackled Eze and he had no divine right to get to that ball. He had no divine right to get to it. Let us know what you think. Every decision is valid. Arsenal fans, please let us know what you think. Let us know what you think of our side. Hopefully I've let you know what I think of your side. You've got so much quality. I hope you do it. Fingers crossed for you. I think David Raya has improved you over Ramsdale. I don't like saying that because Rambo is a legend, but I think, you know, that is the facts. That's how I see it. I think he has improved things. So yeah, let us know what you think, and please do go and watch the video I did with Cecil as well on this channel, because Cecil was, a fantastic guest. Very, very informative about Arsenal. Very, very interesting, and the opinions he gave was really interesting, especially on that rare Ramsdale situation. That was something that shone out, and I did watch after we had that a little bit more of Raya, and I can completely understand where he's coming from. I completely understand comparing it against what Ramsdale did last season. It all makes a bit more sense now. Whereas, I guess if you don't watch Arsenal every single week, I've probably seen a lot of Arsenal. Probably the other side, apart from Bournemouth, that I've seen the most is probably Wolves because of the Gary O'Neill connection. But after that, I would say, Arsenal's got to be up there, with one of the teams mostly on the box, to be honest. But yeah, do let us know what you think, Arsenal fans. Let us know what you think, Bournemouth fans. And like I say, all opinions are valid. Thank you again for checking out the video. Press the like, subscribe, the bell button. Long day. I'm probably off to bed. Thanks for joining us.